Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bonsais Forever. Today I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to be repotting a serissa that I've been growing from a cutting for a little while, and it's a tiny little guy, so let's get started. Here is the new pot that I'm going to be putting it in. It is kind of a taller pot, but it's the first pot for this thing. Well, the second pot, because this is the first pot, but it's almost the same size pot. One thing that I really like about it is the root structure. It's really coming out of the ground here, and it's kind of a clump style tree, so I'm gonna keep growing it in a clump style. I'm gonna try and keep it pretty small, about yay big. I know I say that to other trees and I end up putting them in bigger pots and making big trees, but we can do that with bonsai. Change our minds later. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in this pot. So first things first, we need to get a tray so we can dump the soil out into the tray. And if you've watched any of my other videos about the serissas, you know that these things have some really fine roots, but really sturdy upper roots. So I'm not really worried about damaging any of these roots, because they grow really fast. This is like, I don't remember how long this has been in here. I did a whole bunch of these at the same time, so that's what we've got for a root structure at the moment. I do want to clean out the top of these roots to get to the really cool roots that are at the top, and I want to plant just the lower roots in the soil, so kind of want to clean out the top here. And that should be good. So you can see the really cool roots around the top here. Looks awesome. I'm really liking this tree. It's really small, but it's got a lot of character already. A lot of the trunks are just straight right now, but these will turn into more branches as we trim it back. Basically, I'll just cut off about this much at a time. Take a couple of leaves off the top. It leaves it looking like this, and then this will branch out here, and it'll branch out here also. One thing that I do want to be careful of, I don't want to get too many trunks down here, so I am going to remove the weaker ones at this point to make sure that we don't get too many, because this is a good amount right here. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6. Maybe I'll take off this one little bitty guy there. Just clean it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to put this soil aside. I don't want to use wet bonsai soil on this. Alright, so I'm going to cut a piece of screen for this. This should be about the right size. Alright, we'll put this on the bottom here, just like that. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. I'm not going to tie it in. Just leave it in the bottom there. Put some soil on top of it. I think all of my soil is actually not dry right now. Alright, so then I'm going to put all of these roots in here. I'm going to leave all of them because it is still really hot. It's summertime. I don't want to take too much off. This is a small tree, but because this pot is pretty similar to that pot, they all fit just fine. And I'm going to plant it about here in the pot as well, because I want this to be kind of sticking up out of the pot. So that's where we're going to plant this. We're going to work this soil in nice and slow and gentle, because I want to get as much soil into these roots as possible, but I also want to keep the roots spread out like they are. So I want to work the soil into them and not just jam the soil down in the sides and make all the roots go up into, into the center of the pot. I want them to stay spread out. So We'll work the soil in there nice and gentle, moving it around, moving the roots around with it, and kind of mixing the soil in with the roots. So if you're new to bonsai, this would be considered a Mame sized bonsai. I think the Mame size goes up to 20 centimeters, but I could be wrong, so don't necessarily quote me on that, but it's a relatively small bonsai tree. Some other Mame, actually I think this is right here, I think this is still a Mame sized tree right here, so you can see the difference, because this tree is not huge, but I think it's still in the Mame size, and that guy's in the greenhouse because it's having a little bit of issue. Not enough water for a little while, so it's recovering, but it's doing well, so keep working on it. So I'm gonna keep working the soil down into the roots. Being such a small pot, this is a relatively quick process. It's already starting to feel pretty solid. Probably one or two more scoops here and we'll be set. Now I'm going to kind of poke it down in at this point. Alright, not bad. So I do want to leave the rest of these roots exposed here, because I want this to have some gnarly roots sticking out of the ground. Eventually, as the lower roots start to mature and harden, like these upper roots, I'm gonna raise the tree up out of the pot a little bit more, and then we'll put it into a shallow pot, something like about that deep right there, so that it looks like it's sitting up on top of the soil rather than down into it. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and water it in really good to where the water comes out the bottom. We want to make sure all of the soil is been moistened and cleaned out, because this soil has a little bit of dust in it, so we'll clean out the dust as we water it, and that should do right there. Let it run out just a little bit as we're watering it. So there you have it. It looks awesome with its roots sticking out. It's got a couple of yellow leaves on it, but that's not a problem. Those will fall off, and we'll trim it back as it starts to grow. But there we have it. So thanks for watching. Got a couple other tiny little trees back here, getting ready to go into some really cool pots. Some that I've already put into really cool pots. So awesome. Thanks for watching, y'all, and have a great day.